Hey everyone, this is your host Phenom Hype. I am here with the Queen of Tea and Shade, Miss Kendra Noel, and we all want to say welcome back to All Hype Noel's podcast. We had a nice little 2 week vacation, but we are back and we are ready to delve into all the hot, juicy topics and gossip and drama and, of course, tea that you have been all expecting to hear from us. Kendra, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well. Happy to be back. How are you doing?
You know what? It's good to be back doing the
Mm,
podcast, but I will tell you, I almost ripped a lady's tongue out today.
I can't wait to hear about it. I have no idea. As soon as you said something on Instagram, you're like, "Can I have a story?" I'm like, "Yes."
No, it's me and you and so many other people have been just sending the message of wear your damn masks the whole time, right?
Mm,
And for the most
mm-hmm.
part, I will say for the most part, most people they're wearing the mask. Um, some are incorrect and some are not doing it, but I say still the majority they're doing the job. So go humans, good job on that. You're doing your mask, great job.
They're trying. Some
They,
people.
yeah, they are
Mm-hmm.
trying, but this lady tried to. Well, she didn't try. She did. She succeedingly pissed me off. So I am at a gas station. I'm tired. It was a long day. Worked in the sun. Um, so I got two waters and I got a monster because I need that boost, my energy, because I have a 2 hour drive back from Arizona State line back to my home. So I
Mm-hmm.
was waiting in this line. This lady comes in, and first off, she just reeked of BO. Just
Ew.
reeked of BO. And the reason why I know she smelled so bad of BO is, everybody knows we have a nice 6 foot gap, which I absolutely love because, as I said earlier before in other podcasts, one of my biggest pet peeves is people who stand right next to me. And guess what this lady does? She stood right next to me. Like, I thought she was gonna hold my hand or something, like we were boyfriend or girlfriend. That's how close she was standing
Oh.
next to me. Yes, that's how close. So I'm kind of looking around. I'm kind of like, at first I kind of like, okay, like maybe she doesn't get the hint yet. And like the guy ahead of me,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to redeem lottery tickets, and the girl, she's a very nice, sweet girl, but I think maybe it was like her first or second day because she was a little struggling with it. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever, do your thing. And then this lady kind of brushes my shoulder a little bit. I think accidentally, and I'm like, and then I was like, like that, very kind of polite, kind of like, hey, like you kind of brushed me. And then, I could kind of see, I could feel that her glaring at me a little bit. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whatever, I'm gonna ignore this. And then she bumps me like like, she kind of gives me a little shoulder check, and I'm like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, miss. How can I not help you today? And she's like, well, excuse me. And I'm like, well, you're not obeying the law by being 6 feet. And of course, this lady, she's wearing a mask, but she's not wearing her mask properly. She's wearing it to where it's only covering her mouth, but not her nose. So her nose is completely
Mm-hmm.
exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Miss, you kind of have to follow,
Wait,
California state guidelines of,
people don't
6 feet.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't get that. I kind of told her, she's like, you can't tell me what to do. This thing is a whole hoax, anyways. And she raises her voice. And like I just told her to stay 6 feet back. This lady is about to go. I see in her eyes, she is about to go on a tirade right now, and a tangent about how this whole thing's a hoax. And she goes, "You don't know what you're talking about. I am COVID-19 free. I've never had it. It's a hoax. It's a government conspiracy. And let me tell you something. You don't tell me what to do." And I'm like, "All right, lady. Like, calm down. Kick back. Like, just stay 6 feet apart. You smell. So please, I just don't want to smell you anymore." And she looked at me and was like, "Oh, I smell." She pulls out her mask and she pretends to cough.
What?
and and then I just said, "Are you fucking serious?" And she's like, "Yeah, have fun, ha ha ha." And then she runs out the door. like
What?
like a thief in the night, she coughs at me and runs out the door. And I'm in shock. Like the cashier, the guy ahead of me, the people behind me. There's a Quiznos on the other side of this gas station, and they stop and they're looking, and I'm in shock. Like, oh my god, this lady. So I look around and I see a bottle of hand sanitizer. So I open it up, and the cashier's like, "Oh, sir, you have." Just like, "I'll pay for it." Just this lady coughed at me, and of course, it's hand sanitizer. But I'm like putting all over my arms. I'm trying to like rub. I'm rubbing my neck.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, I'm so glad I have my face and my ass still on. But I'm like rubbing my neck, my arms, and my hands. And So the lady
Wow.
finishes up the
I
tickets.
can't even I can't even fathom that this actually happened. You
So,
gotta call the cops on her.
well, I could, but I mean, this lady was gone like the night, so I was like, okay. So that here's the thing, though. So the nice girl looks at me, and she's like, "Oh, like I saw you used half the bottle, but don't worry, we won't charge you for the bottle because that lady coughed on you. We can just say it's a default." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And then I said, "Is there any chance I might be able to get like new waters and a rock star? I mean, a monster?" And she's like, "Yeah, go ahead." I'm like, "Yes, thank you." And then the people behind me like, "Go ahead." But I can see people like are like standing like not normal 6 feet, but like now 12 feet away from me,
Oh, hell
just in
yeah. They're
case this
like,
crazy
oh.
lady like does have COVID. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I have COVID, if I come down with COVID within the next couple days, you know why? Heard it here first.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yes.
crazy. I did not
So
think
yes.
it was
So
gonna be one of those.
yeah, so this lady literally, and I know I said earlier I wanted to rip her tongue out, but good God, that no, just I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just want to like get like a hazmat suit and just keep kicking her, like down the street, like please stay away from me, or get like a long like a pool stick, like when you're trying to dig something out of the pool, like just get like
Mm-hmm.
one of those like long 10 foot poles and just like here, you need to stay this far away from me.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that is how my day ended today, ladies and gentlemen. It was horrendous. But I got my waters and I got my Rockstar and I'm amped up, so that's kind of a good thing too.
Oof. Well, yeah, but that's the nerve of people is insane.
It's I mean I'm okay with you going on like your tinfoil hat tangent of COVID's fake. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, have fun with that. I don't care. Like, but you pulling down your mask and fake coughing on me. I have issues. I'm traumatized now.
Well,
I am
that it's
traumatized.
like that story that we talked about that happened over like on the East Coast with that guy that did that.
But hey, like I said, this lady coughed and then she went off into the night. She just ran out of the store and went. I don't know which way. I'm kind of glad I don't know which way she went, because I'm like, yeah, I don't want any part of that lady whatsoever. But other than that, Kendra, how was your day today? Like, what did you do today?
I just sorry, little Kendra asked me a question. Um,
Shout little Kendra too.
but no, I just the disrespect of some people is just it's unfathomable. Like I don't know. I mean, that guy literally got charged with like attempted something for like taking down his mask and coughing on like the employee at like Walgreens. So
It's people. It's people are just I don't know. I don't
there's
know.
something else.
They are something. I guess I just COVID. I don't know. Maybe COVID gives people the crazies. I guess maybe that's what it is. I don't know. If whether you have COVID or you don't believe in COVID and you think COVID's a hoax, maybe give you a little bit of the crazies. I don't know. No. But Kendra, you actually just brought up a great topic that we're actually going to be talking about here right now. Is we're talking about disrespect, and
Mm.
there's just so much disrespect that goes on in this world. Especially me and you, Kendra, we are now both. Congratulations to both of us. We're Twitch affiliates, but we do get some disrespectful people coming into our chats and lobbies, and me personally, just coming from my standpoint, I don't get it. Like people, there are certain people that we unfortunately have to deal with in life. um,
Mhm.
they have to think that they are always right. They think their opinion is top notch. Whatever they say goes. And if anybody challenges them, then they get very angry. They get very aggressive. They say just very stupid and low intelligent sayings.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go on record on this. If you and Kendra, I know you can back me up on this because I said this in a post on Instagram a couple days ago. But if you are in an argument with a female, a woman, and you call her a bitch in the middle of an argument, you've already lost your argument. You've already gone that low, but no below beneath the belt, that you can no longer articulate a well qualified argument, a standpoint. Like the moment you call a girl a bitch, I'm sorry, you're not a man anymore. You're a low life scumbag who doesn't know how to handle or talk to a strong, empowered female. I'm sorry, you just don't.
Yeah. I mean, name calling in general is like it's really hard, and I know I have a bad habit. Like So, but I always call people motherfuckers. It's just like my favorite. It's my favorite word. But like I say it to everyone. Like if you're a friend, if I'm gonna fight with you, like I don't care who you are. Like it's just that's my favorite word. Um, but no, I mean I agree, and it depends like what is the situation going on. Like if it's not that big of a fight and it's not that serious, and you're just gonna start throwing out names like that, like it's a it's pretty disrespectful. It's
But here's the thing though too is some people they choose, and this is how you know certain people that you probably shouldn't hang around anymore, is where if say me and you are having, like going back and forth, but someone on either one of our side is being much more the aggressor. It's like, no, no, screw that, f you, blah blah blah. Like this person is jumping in, like he's ready, like he's like in a tag team wrestling match. He's like, tag me in, I got this. Like someone like that, I'm sorry, I just do not want to deal with that vibe. Like, if
yeah,
you are gung ho, ready to just jump into an argument that really you have nothing to deal with whatsoever. Like, I understand, hey, you want to back up your friends and everything like that. Okay, hey, understandable. But at the same time, if the issue is between two people and that those two people are not you, then you really shouldn't jump into it unless it's getting really bad.
mm,
But if two people are
yeah.
talking respectfully and you have someone on the sidelines, just ranting and raving, just screaming out expletive left and right. It just boggles my mind. It really does.
I just think fighting in general is like it should just be avoided. Like people can have difference of opinions. Like that's just gonna be life. Like you're not
Sure.
gonna like everyone that you come in contact with, but it just sometimes people just take it to like a whole other level that it doesn't need to be escalated to, you know?
Yeah, it's very pointless for people to take it. If it's at a three, leave it at a be a three. Don't escalate it to a nine when it doesn't ever need to be a nine.
Yeah, and especially because you never know like how people are gonna take it either, you know? Like for me, like I'm a very calm and collected person, but like if you push me to like a level to where like I feel like I'm really disrespected, like sometimes I'll go fuck off on you, And I feel like a lot of people don't expect that from me. They're like, "Oh, Kendra's so nice, like she's so sweet," but at the same time, like I feel like going back to like the main topic is like I feel like a lot of people are taking that as a weakness of me, and like people just think that it's okay to come disrespect me because they think I'm so nice, and like don't get me wrong, I am, and I do try to be nice to everyone, and I don't like drama, and that's not like what I'm about, but at the same time, like don't test me and don't come for me, especially if I'm being like a peach to you. Like it doesn't give you the right to come be an asshole to me and think that I'm just gonna take it because I'm not that bitch. I'm not the one for that.
But I think not just that, but I think the disrespect. You know what pisses me off the more is the phony bullshit. Sorry, I think that's what even makes me more pissed off. Like if you have to wait a day or two, or you have to have people come tell you like, hey, you messed up, you should have spoken to this person like that, you should apologize, and you send some weak ass message about saying, oh, hey, I shouldn't talk to you like that, I'm sorry, hope we're still cool. Like, I'm sorry, it's an issue, it's a problem. It's no. If you felt really bad, you really want to apologize. I understand maybe taking an hour, maybe taking like a night to where you needed to kind of cool off, tempered up, and you need to kind of self-reflect. It's like, okay, hey, this is what I really wanted to come across, but I didn't get it right. Then what you should do is you should message that person like, hey, I'm a lot calmer, I'm a lot cooler. Can we talk in private just for a little bit? I want to get my personal point across without being so heated. I want to get my point across in a much calmer fashion. And first off, I want to address this by saying I am sorry for my actions and for my words. I just felt, X, Y, and Z was happening, and that's why I was acting like this. But I'm a much calmer state, a much cooler state. This is what I'd like to break down and talk to you about.
Mm. Mhm.
I mean that's how I look at it. That's how I like doing things. Like that's how I want to talk to people. And that's how I'd like
Yeah.
people to talk to me. But if you're gonna, you're gonna run and gun and splat off expletives left and right, then don't send me that message. Just don't talk
Mm.
to me. I really do not want your presence. I don't want your vibe in my life. That's a bad negative vibe, and I love my life. I don't want that. I don't want that presence in my life. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Yeah, like you can always just like not mess with people, you know. Like you can have a disagreement and decide to be cool, but it doesn't mean you have to be like buddy buddy with that person. You don't have to like talk to them. You can just like keep it casual, keep it cool. Cause like I don't like to go life like with enemies or like I don't like having like beef with people. Like it's fine if we just like if we know we both don't fuck with each other, like that's fine. But like I don't want to have any like lingering like hatred towards someone.
I mean, I look at it that way. This way, though, not that way. This way, excuse me. Is in life, no matter what, you're gonna have people who are gonna love you, people who like you, people who they're kind of neutral with you. There's gonna be some people who slightly dislike you, and there's always gonna be people who hate you, no matter what you do in your life.
Mhm.
And I look at it as in, what, people say, make that joke like, oh, they're talking shit behind your back because that's the only way they can see is to tell them to kiss your ass. There's a reason why they're on your
Mhm.
backside, not your front view. People always say that, and you really do have to take what people say who hate against you. You really got to take it with a grain of salt, because at the
Mhm.
end of
Yeah.
the day, we really stop. And this is the funny thing too, is that I always feel that people always take what the negativity of people say. They take it so much more to heart than the positive things that people say. Like I feel like people who think positive, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's nice, thank you, that's cool. But somehow it's like it doesn't register as much if someone says, oh, you're absolute trash, you suck, you're not a good person. I feel people take that so much more to heart than the good.
Mhm.
And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We shouldn't think like that. We should always want to take the good, positive things and build and grow on that momentum, and not worry so much about the negativity. But
Mhm.
people always disrespect, whether it be relationships, money, people's friendships. Just in general, people unfortunately will always be disrespectful. That's.
Yeah,
But hopefully,
that's
hopefully we can
that's
change.
true.
There's always room for change. There's always room for
Yeah,
growth.
hopefully people do and like they start raising better humans too because little humans right now they learn from their parents, they kind of see how you act and then they take that as they grow.
It's
So,
it's like that. It's like the saying, nobody's born a racist. It's learned and taught behavior.
yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with like how you treat people. That's
Yep.
why like, like we're trying to like raise our like children with like just be respectful. And even if someone is really rude to you, like, so like example, so my hubby took our child to the park and he bought her like they stopped at like some food place, got some food, and it was sitting at like a picnic table. They were having like a daddy daughter date. Anyways, these kids came over and like picked up her like little frosty and like her chicken nuggets and just threw them on the ground like when they were across the park playing. And it's like these kids had no business coming and touching stuff that was not theirs, you know? And then, my man was like, "Excuse me, like pick that up." And then the kids just bolted, just ran away and like laughed. And my daughter was so upset she like cried about it. And I'm just like, people just got to do better. Like you just have to do better with raising children these days cuz the last thing we need is like more generation of people that are just disrespectful to everyone.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't care how old you are. If someone throws my lunch on the ground, I'm crying. Like I'm gonna be upset about it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like
be upset. You tell little
it's
Kendra I'm upset for that.
yeah, I will. I mean, she was so upset. Like it wasn't even like she wasn't like mad and like wanted to go after them, you know. She was more so just like, like why? Like why would you touch like that's mine? Like
Yeah. Well,
you didn't have any business like touching it. I don't know.
some people are shitty. Just and
Yeah.
that's poor parenting. It comes down to the
Yeah.
bottom line. It's poor parenting. Like where's these kids' parents? Like why aren't these kids'
Yeah.
parents like, hey, like what the hell? Like me, I would have been like, where's your parents at? I'm gonna go fight them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I will become Terminator when my kids are born. Like
Oh,
something happens to my kids,
I
I am
mean,
going Terminator mode on people. I am grabbing a damn minigun out of my. I'm not really gonna. I don't really have a minigun. I'm just saying it's a hypothetical. People, did you hear what Phenom said? If it's a parent, he's gonna grab a minigun. Don't mess with him. Like, well, that's kind of cool too.
right.
But no.
People would definitely take that out of context. But yeah, no, I mean like her dad was extremely pissed like as, he had a right to be. But I just the thing, like the message is just like don't be disrespectful. If you are, like hopefully you can apologize and learn from it and do better. And if you have children, definitely teach your children to do better, especially if you have like an anger issue. Just help your children to be better than you are.
Speaking of disrespect, we're gonna move on to our next topic. Is The true definition of a simp. Now I know,
Oh
I
my gosh.
I know it's so weird. It is I know I think we've covered this topic before, but it just seems like this word simp and the culture
Where
behind
did
it.
it come from? I
I
want to know like where it came from and what does that word actually mean? Like
well
where did it come like start from?
I think it's the new term for like white knighting. So I think that's what it is. So,
I'm like
um,
it just reminds me of like simpleton or something like simpleton like I don't understand like what I don't know. I don't understand it.
well, I think it's one of those words that let's see here. Let's see here. I'm actually looking it up right now for you.
That's what I had to do when people kept saying like calling people simps and stuff. I was like, what is that word? And I had to Google it and thank gosh,
Okay.
Urban Dictionary has it.
So here is what the Webster Dictionary says. From a historical viewpoint, the word is shortened for the form of the phrase simpleton, meaning fool or silly person. It's a quite tame insult by today's standards. But now, 2020, the slang word for simp is for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women, especially out of a failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. The word simp is meant to troll young men for doing anything for a girl to get some action he supposedly deserves.
And
So,
I just feel like people are taking that word though and like running with it. They're using it too often for situations that aren't even like that.
well, I think people are using the word simp in the wrong context because I mean I've had
For
people call
sure.
me a simp because our friendship with you, because my friendship with you, and
Mm.
just, you know,
Yeah.
it blows my mind. And I've had this discussion before, and I've told people, Kendra is my best friend. It's a very platonic friendship. There is no love interest either way going whatsoever that
Mm-mm.
direction. It's strictly platonic, and I just feel that in this day and age, people are very greedy. They're very selfish. And if they see
Mm-hmm.
a guy or girl interact, it must mean, oh, one must want something from another. And in our case, it's not like that at all. Like, we're always
Mm-mm.
talking, hyping each other up. It's like, hey, what are we doing here? What can we do different here? Hey, good job, great numbers. Let's keep it up. Like, me and you are always just
Yeah.
boosting each other up. And we just
Yeah,
have a
even like when we talk about like life things, like when we share like personal life things, it's like we're just giving each other advice like a normal friendship.
yeah. I mean,
It's like nothing too deep. Like when
I mean,
people like think it's crazy.
I sent you pictures of possible Tinder and Bumble matches, and you're like, okay, cool. No, I don't like her. No, okay. Oh, well, she's very pretty. Date her.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just,
I help you out. I try.
I know, but I think just in 2020, I think it's getting more and more of a foreign concept of a guy and a girl who have a very strong platonic friendship without having some kind of sexual connotation added to it. I think it's just becoming more of a like I said, a very foreign concept for people. Uh, you
Which is
know,
so bizarre to
it
me.
is.
Like,
It is so bizarre. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think nowadays, I think a lot of things are now very hypersexualized too. So I will
mhm.
say that. And I think the need to, I feel like lust is also very big right now. Like people have to quench their sexual needs, especially with COVID right now. People are kind of
Mhm.
trapped in homes right now. I
Mhm.
mean, now don't get me wrong, people, they're still going to leave the house to get laid no matter what. They're still going to do that. But I think people just kind of crave that attention from the opposite sex because the opposite sex, it feels good to get that attention from the opposite sex. Like I know when I get attention from the opposite sex, I'm like, hey, okay, that's cool. I like that. That makes me feels if kind of fills my ego a little bit, kind of builds my confidence a little more, makes me feel desirable. I think people when you get that feeling that you feel more desirable too, you have a little bit your swagger's a little bit different, your confidence is a little bit different.
See, and yeah, I think it's different for like everyone. Like for me, so being in a relationship, like I don't really care what anyone else like necessarily thinks of me. Like besides my man, like I don't care what like anyone says to me. If they think I'm cute, if they think I'm ugly, like the only person I really care, like who thinks that I look good is my man. Like, but I get what you're saying, and I think especially like if you're single and stuff like that, attention does make you feel better and kind of like hey, like let's go. But I think when you're kind of more in like a committed relationship, like I don't know, it doesn't like that's not what like. I don't know, it's not what I go after. Like I don't really care.
No, but back to the definition of the simp though. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some guys who they will uh they'll go onto a girls like fan center, OnlyFans, even Twitch streams, and they'll fall in love with these girl streamers, and they'll be like a tier 3 subscriber. They'll drop them, and I'm sure even guy streamers have these too. So
Mm-hmm.
um, but they'll have just very fans who will ride their ride or dies. Like they will do anything and everything in their power to protect them, and they won't let anybody speak a single negative word about them, and they will just give them loads and loads of tips and money, thinking that, hey, if I give this girl 100, 500,000, $10,000, this girl is gonna notice me. She's gonna see I'm the one for her or him, and we're gonna live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't get me wrong. There are people who are like that. Now, yes, okay, I will agree. Those people are simps. I will say that. You should never. You really should never go into anything like that having kind of a warped reality of thinking, if I leave, if I lead with a bunch of money showing my support, this person's gonna say, "Oh, this person supports me. I'm gonna like them. Like, oh, I'm gonna fall in love with that person. This person is showing me money, so therefore I'm gonna love them." That's just in general, just a
Yeah.
rule of thumb for me in dating. Leading with money is probably one of the dumbest things you can do, because I've seen more people lead with
You're
money and they
gonna
get burnt
yeah, you're
very,
gonna
very
attract
quickly.
the wrong type of person.
Yeah. And here's what's gonna happen too: is once this person finds out how big your bankroll is, so even so, like some people have the bankrolls of a lifetime. Hey, go for it. But if you are someone whose bankroll is not as big, they find out, they will use you up, and then you will be hung out to dry. And then you're going to be out a lot of money. You're going to be heartbroken, and you're going to be cursing the world, saying, "Screw this, I hate this, blah 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 blah." And then you become just such a pessimist about love and everything like that. And then people who are really nice, you're just like, "Oh, you're a simp, you're a simp, you're a simp." Yeah, I really do think that happens.
Yeah. I just feel like that term is overused. Like being like a female streamer, like I have like a lot of guys like of all ages that come and hang out in my stream and people call them a simp or something and it's just like that's not how it is. Like you can like to hang out with someone. It doesn't mean you want anything or you're doing something to get something from them. Like you can just generally like to hang out with people. And I think that's just how like it, especially like in the gaming community, like you'll make friends and then some friends you just like to hang out with a little bit more than the others just because you vibe differently and like you guys maybe just get along like on a good personal level. And same thing when like you're watching someone stream. Like there's people that I gravitate towards their streams more than others just because I feel like our personalities match and we have good conversations and I just feel like the whole term is just it's just overused. Like
Well, I think it's very
people can like
overblown.
other people, yeah, and it doesn't mean you want anything or need anything from them.
And like I said earlier, I just don't think people actually know the true definition of it. Um,
Mhm.
I think if a guy is or a girl is nice to the opposite sex, all of a sudden. So let me say. So me and you, Kendra, we have a great viewer. She's a mod on my channel, Rhoda. Rhoda
Mhm.
is awesome. She's amazing. She literally is probably in my stream from start to ending. And after the stream, I will message her saying, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you like?" Now, would I call Rhoda a simp? No, absolutely not. And I don't think anybody would call her Rhoda a simp.
Mhm.
There are just certain people that you vibe with that you want to talk to.
Mhm.
And Rhoda is someone of the opposite sex, but she's cool. We have great conversations with each other. During,
Yeah,
pre, during, and post stream.
for sure.
You
And
know,
it's kind of just goes like that, you know.
yeah. I mean, sure. I'm Kendra, and I'm sure you probably talked to a couple people outside of your stream too that you developed a friendship with, and you talk to them, and you're like, it's like, hey, what'd you think of this? What'd you think of that? I know you do that too as well, but you don't call them simps, right? You just call them like, hey, these are people are cool. I'm cool with,
Yeah, like I have a
and
lot of friends that I talk to, message on Instagram all the time, and I don't like I wouldn't call any of them a simp. I wouldn't say I'm a simp. Like I just we have good conversation, and that's pretty that's pretty much it. It's just an overused word. I think people just use to I don't know annoy people or just overuse the word.
yeah. But Rhoda. I mean, excuse me, not Rhoda. Excuse me. I was thinking about to say one more thing about Rhoda. Rhoda, you're awesome. Shout out.
Wrote it's on your brain.
Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. No, no, no. Not even. Not even. She's a great, wonderful person, and I am very
Yes.
appreciative that she is in my stream. But Kendra, to you, I hear you have some great tea and shade for
Mm.
us. Spill the tea. Talk to me.
So
What's going on?
there's some new news about Mr. Star. As we know, I love his makeup. I just bought his palette orgy
Oh
and the
God.
mini orgy palette and a gloss, and it's coming tomorrow, and I'm excited. Anyways, so he broke up with his boyfriend of like 5 years, Nathan, and this was like I think they've been broken up for like a little while now. Anyway, so he's just been dating, and he started dating a new person, and people were super curious who it was, and he posted a picture where you couldn't see the guy's face, but Jeffrey was like sitting on his lap, and the guy was like behind him, just kind of holding him. And people were going crazy. Okay, they identified it, and he's a basketball player, professional basketball player that plays overseas. And so people, started tagging him like on his Instagram. I think it was even it was on the Shade Room, and so they basically outed this guy. And like, well, we don't know if he outed him, but to the whole public, I don't really think a lot of people knew that he was whatever he is, like who's he into, because he has a baby mama and a son. Well, his baby mama is going off on the internet. She is posting on Instagram. She is posting on Twitter. She is saying some super rude things that can be taken like very homophobic, and it's crazy. It's just like she's just like letting the world have it and going off on Jeffrey, saying like he's not, like she doesn't know what species he is. Um, and then she was like talking about
Species,
her baby
like.
daddy. Yeah, she was like, like I can't believe you came and like you kissed me and your son with that mouth without letting me know. Like you've been kissing a dude, and like just some off the wall. Just like she sounds very bitter. And I mean, because I mean, we don't really know this guy, so he could be bi, he could just be like a, I forgot what it's called, but where you just like a person as a person, like they don't, it doesn't matter what gender they are, you're just into
Like an
them as a
asexual.
soul. Yeah, so it's just crazy. And so as far as I know, the guy hasn't responded publicly, but Jeffrey just kind of came on Snapchat to address it. He was like, "Look, people are gonna say and think what they want to say. Like he is single. I did not steal anyone's man. Like we are just hanging out and we are having fun together and we're both happy and that's what matters." Um, and then other people,
That's a
were
big
saying,
statement. That is a big statement. That is a
well,
big statement from Mr. Starr,
I
though,
mean,
because
it's
that says, if this guy, this basketball player, is, well, it's two different stories now. Actually, no. When I first look at it, you said Jeffree Star is, saying they're both single, but the baby's mama is saying that he's coming home and kissing her and the son. So that kind of indicates to me that there's still something there if he's coming home to her and kissing her.
well, here, I'm gonna bring. I think my friend actually sent me the screenshot, so I'm gonna
Uh oh.
see if I can find it.
Kendra is bringing the receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Look out. Like Kendra always says, 2020, have your receipts and wear your damn mask.
Okay. So she said at Jeffree Star is a guy, I'm a woman. I can't offer what he has, but I would have respected the fact you told me for health reasons. The same lips you put on me and our son are the exact same lips you're putting on a dude.
Okay. I mean, I feel that's kind of a cop out kind of line paragraph. I
It's
think.
super insulting though for health reasons. Like, what you mean?
Well,
Like,
I think she means more for like COVID more than like HIV or AIDS or anything. I think
maybe.
it's more of a COVID thing more than an STD.
But like but she said, I don't know. For me, I don't take it that way because she said the exact same lips you're putting on a dude, like dude in all caps. Like to me, that sounds like way more like she's mad that he's kissing a man type of thing, not
She could
COVID.
be. I mean, that could be very much so. I
It's
guess
just
here's the
like,
thing. How would she react if he was kissing another girl compared to him kissing Mr. Star?
and then okay, so she also said like, tell me what I've done for you. Tell me why is it money? I could have worked harder to make our life better. She's like, I would have done anything to save our relationship.
See,
And
her
like,
saying that though, her saying that, me hearing her say that, if I can actually put a formidable sentence together,
hmm
indicates to me that she thought they were still in a relationship. That to me speaks volumes that she thought the star basketball star and her were in a relationship, whereas
it sounds to me
Jeffrey,
like he broke up with her and she wants him back, and she's just bitter that he moved on.
I don't know. I
Because I mean,
don't
like a kiss
know.
too, like you can kiss someone. Most people kiss like on the side of the cheek or something, but to me it just sounds like she's bitter, trying
Kendra, I'm
to
pretty sure they're
create.
not meeting up and just kissing on the cheek. I'm sure.
Well, if no, if you go to see your son or something, like if you walk in someone's house, like if my man and I broke up or something, and we were like on good terms, and like I entered his house, like I'd give him a hug or something, like maybe a kiss on the cheek, depending on how formal we want to be. But I don't know. I just think it sounds bitter. Like he's all over Jeffrey's social media right now, so it's out in the world, and I think she's just making the wrong choice. And then she's calling him a racist and shit too, and it's not a good look. Like way to make yourself like. I mean, we don't know the whole story for sure, but
True.
it's not a good look. Like you can be pissed off all you want, but the last thing you should be doing is trying to get your 15 minutes of clout, chasing after Jeffrey, who's known for drama, and people will always pick up stuff due to his name.
But remember, Mr. Starr here is not the most innocent person in the world here. I mean, a couple months ago, he was being dragged by the James Charles Committee, and he came out after what, a month. He apologized to James Charles. Now I know you're not the biggest fan of James Charles. Don't get me, I know this, Kendra. I know this. But let's not paint Mr. Starr here like
Self-centered
he.
asshole.
Let's not. Oh, oh, you're saying James? Me, not James Charles, but Jeffree Star is not anything like that at all. I'm just
I don't
saying
know. No, I
he's
don't
not.
think he's as narcissistic as James. Like James is like all about him all the time, only him, him, him. Jeffree Star owns like a full ass business. He takes care of all of his employees. He takes care of anyone that works for him. His security guards. He has like his personal assistant. She like lives in his house. She has like her own apartment in his house. Like he takes such good care of like his makeup artist, his hair team. Like he takes care of the people in his life so well. And like he's giving away money to charities, and I'm not saying James isn't doing that, but James doesn't really like touch on any of that. And like whenever what I do see of him is just very like narcissistic. He's always out for himself. How can I make money? Who can I use to be in my video to get my views up to 100, like to over 1 million? What can I do for me, 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 me? And like for when I look at Jeffrey, and maybe it's because Jeffrey's older now, like because I feel like a lot of people go through that stage, when they're younger. So maybe
Yeah,
James is just going through that stage. But for me, like when I look at Jeffrey, like he's more of like a business person who doesn't just think about himself. He thinks about him and everyone around him. Like how can he build up other people, not just himself? You know?
I'm gonna give you a scenario here, Kendra. So here's the scenario: you get a chance to team up with Jeffree Star for 3 years doing makeup. But here's the catch: for 1 year, you either have to collab with either James Charles or Kylie Jenner. Who are you collabing with?
Kylie.
just right off the bat, Kylie. There's no thought about it.
No.
Oh wow, she's just like there's.
Because I just I like how we talked about personalities and stuff. Like I just don't think him and I would like. I mean, I don't know him personally, so maybe we would. But just like off of what I've seen and like when I did used to watch his videos, I just don't think we'd vibe together.
Hmm.
Like he just seems like super hyper and like kind of crazy, and I'm more of just like kind of relaxed, chill. Like I don't want to. No.
No,
It's a pass for me, but like I said, everyone has different opinions, and that's totally fine. And people hate Jeffree Star, and people love James Charles, vice versa. People hate both of them. People love both of them. Like it just doesn't. Like to me personally, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
I don't care. Like who you like, don't like who you don't like. One thing I just feel like people can't knock Jeffree for is his makeup is amazing. I don't care who you are, his makeup is bomb.
Fight. Look at that. You're just standing away there. That's the hill you are going to die on, right?
I mean, like you can disassociate people from brands sometimes. Sometimes you can't. Like for me, I hate Too Faced.
Hmm.
Like I think their brand owner's disgusting. I think his sister's disgusting. They blocked me on Instagram because I said I think that what they posted was disgusting, and and like for me, like I won't ever buy Too Faced just because of like all of that. So like
Yeah.
I understand why people have reasons why they don't like certain people and then why they don't buy from certain people. Like I totally get it. I can't knock anyone, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Moving on to our next topic is a great pastime is the toxicity in a community, whether that be a gaming community, a film community, a show community, makeup community, the toxicity of just a community. Now, as we mentioned before, Kendra and I are streamers. Kendra, let me ask you something. How are you going to keep toxicity out of your community? Like, what are some of the steps that you are looking to do?
I think just try to keep it peaceful and, you know, if anyone does come in trying to cause problems, like you can always ban them or block them, and that's also why you have like mods who come and hang out on your stream to kind of help control things when like you're busy, like if you're in the middle of a game while you're streaming and someone's going off, like you can't necessarily like stop what you're doing, go over, you know, do all that kind of stuff. So I think mods are super helpful and they're definitely like appreciated. Like I appreciate every single person that comes in who's a moderator in my stream and helps me out. Um, but it is hard. I just try to keep positive vibes. Like there's more than a few times I've had people start fighting in my chats, popping off, and like like you know, as you know, we had Drama Central Friday
Quite,
and Saturday,
quite,
and
quite.
for
Somehow,
like
somehow they got into my stream. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
this is fun.
yeah, basically like Friday night was like my stream was super insane. Like there's mad fights on it. Like I even like went back and kind of just listened to some of it and I was just like, whew, like it got bad. And then Saturday night, um, I don't think I don't know, I wasn't streaming Saturday night because I was kind of just like drained with everything. And then you were streaming though, and then we had drama pop off while you were streaming that actually involved me a little bit as
Yeah.
well. And so it was just crazy. So by Sunday night, I was just like, can we just play a game and not like
Fingers crossed, no
not have
drama,
anyone
please. Just
fighting?
nice, nice happy day, nice happy day, nice
Yeah.
happy day. No drama, please.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what do you do? What's your plan for like toxicity? Because I know you haven't had as much tea in your stream as you know I have.
You know what though? I used to try to like one of, and I think this is something that we do great is we always interact with our fans, or people, the viewers at least, um, just to kind of talk. And I just feel that as someone who is a streamer slash entertain, well, actually you can like entertainers now, but I look at it like this. I think if you actually reach out and talk to people, like we stream on PS4, so we have this nice big block on the right side where if we can glance over, we can kind of see the messages that are going up, so we can kind of see things that are going on like at real time. So if there's someone who's kind of saying things that are a little questionable. I know me personally, like I like to look at my messages nonstop, and sometimes I get killed because I'm not paying attention to the game. I'm paying attention to the messages, but I try to
Mhm.
nip it right in the butt right away. My thing is like, hey, like, listen, it's a cool chat, chill vibe chat. Don't really bring that nonsense in here. Um, and so I also have Nightbot on mine. Now I know a lot of people complain about my Nightbot, but I have my Nightbot set up a certain way to where if you're spamming like anything like that, it's gonna mute you really quickly. It's gonna ban you real quickly, just for the fact I don't want that. I don't want that toxicity. I don't want that drama. Kendra, I talked to you the other night when the whole Saturday stream. I left that chat party where everything was going on, and I apologized to my stream. I was like, hey guys, I'm sorry. I didn't want that. But also on my stream, I have and I can't believe this how many gamblers I know now. I have like a little gambling app on my stream, and so then like after the chat, we just kind of made jokes, and then for like the next hour and a half, we were just gambling with just like
Mhm.
points that you heard on the stream. And so I played a
Yeah.
little bit more, but really just started turning into like a chat where people kind of just it got like really cool, got a really good like the chill vibe that we want during the streams. But for me personally, I just like to keep a watch on it. I just try to moderate as much. Man, don't get me wrong. I have great moderators. I greatly appreciate them too. But I also try to make sure that I can also try to control my own stream, just because I know some streams can get way out of hand sometimes.
Mhm.
So let me ask you another question: Is what happens to the toxicity of your own fans? There is, there are some fans who have been with you, your D1, your day ones, who have been with you nonstop, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes those fans get a little entitled, and they kind of not harass the new fans per se, but they kind of let it be known that like, hey, I've been here since day one. This is your first day here at the stream, so you kind of got to watch what you say.
Hmm.
How would you deal with that toxicity?
I think sometimes maybe just send them like a personal message, and just be like, hey, like, can you just like chill out a little bit? Because sometimes, that's gonna happen, but I think just addressing them personally instead of publicly. Like if it depends how it is. Like if you're in like the heat of the game or something, you kind of glance over and kind of see it's popping. You could be like, hey, so and so, like chill out a little bit, please. Um, or if you have time, definitely just drop them a personal message because you don't like you never want to embarrass anyone or like call them out, make them feel some type of way. So I think personal messages can definitely like a little whisper on Twitch or something can definitely go a long way with kind of diffusing the situation privately.
Definitely. I feel like if that thing ever happened with me, what I'd probably like to do is to probably just set a reminders like, hey, we're all here, to watch something, to be entertained. So let's kind of keep it that way because there's other communities like I said, the gaming community, but like TVs, movies, where you'll see movie communities. Some of those people just go off on tirades. They will let you know at the 1 hour 14-minute mark and 30 second millisecond 14. They will let you know if you look really closely at the right left corner here, you can see there's an extra thumb that shouldn't be there. I'm like, okay, I'm just here to enjoy the movie. I don't need every single microscopic mistake. And then they'll say, well, you're not a real fan then. You're just some fucking dweeb who just likes it. You're such like a plebe. I'm like, all right, cool. Like one of my favorite movies is Jurassic Park, and I remember I just joined a chat group because we did a screening. There was a screening of it, and I watched it. And like I just commented on the Velociraptors in the kitchen, like, oh, this is like one of my favorite parts. And some guy's like, well, did you know they made a mistake here? And I'm like, no. It's like, oh, you're such a fake fan. I'm like, what? Like I went when I was a kid, I saw that movie 7 times at the movie theaters. Pretty sure I'm not a fake fan. I'm pretty sure I've owned the DVD and I've downloaded it multiple times on pretty much every single laptop I've ever owned in my life. It's like one of the first movies I downloaded. Legally, by the way, legally.
Oh wow.
Just gonna throw that out there. So like, oh, you downloaded some movies, huh? Like legally, government legally. I don't
Yeah,
want $250,000 ban and 5-year prison sentence.
for sure. For
But
sure.
I just think people can kind of I don't know. I guess with toxicity in communities, I guess I wish it would just kind of calm down. I wish people would more extend an olive branch, like, hey, listen, like, oh, like, kind of know someone's fandom level, and just like, well, hey, like, here, I want to talk to you about this. I know you love it, but hey, do you know like a little bit of the details of it? Kind of extend the olive branch, kind of help people, kind of build that bridge, because the more people who know about it, the more you can kind of make inside jokes about it too, and you kind of grow as a bigger family.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, like it's all about, just like keeping it respectful and, just making sure like you respect people's boundaries and you can kind of tell too by like whose stream you're in,
yeah,
like what they allow and like what they kind of don't allow. Like even like for me, like I don't like when people pick on each other. It's like the other night, like someone was like kind of just mentioning something about the way someone looked, and I was just trying to like shut that shit down real quick because I'm not about talking about anyone's looks.
yeah.
Like you have no business talking about anyone's hair, their face, their eyes, their eyebrows, whatever.
My
Like,
feet.
yeah, like if you're gonna like you can say compliments all you want, like that's fine because that's you're being kind, but
I will say this. I will say the compliments, as long as it's a legit compliment and not some backhanded bullshit
yeah.
compliment.
That's another thing too. Don't be backhanded. Don't use your sarcasm. Like
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like going back to like disrespect and stuff. You got to be careful like with what you say and how you say it. Because especially if someone doesn't really know you, because you might think you're joking around with them, but if they don't know you, they're gonna take that as just like you're coming for me, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna get defensive, and therefore like it could create a problem.
It's not gonna end well. But
Yeah.
Kendra, we're hitting the
Yes.
final phases of our podcast.
Let's go.
So I'm gonna ask you something here, Kendra.
What?
We always like to have fun. on the last
Mm.
topic of the podcast. So, Kendra,
Mm.
out of these four foods, which would you get rid of and why? Would you get rid of vegetarian? Well, I can't say vegetarian because that's really kind of its own style. So I'll say this. So I'll say Italian, Chinese, pizza, or Mexican. Actually, wait. Italian and pizza are kind of the same thing, actually. So I take
True.
that
I
back.
was, I
So
was thinking that. I
I'll
was like,
say,
wait, is pizza her own category? Because
yeah.
come through.
I'm always gonna make pizza my own. Pizza to me is its own category. I don't care. I know
It
people
is.
say it's Italian. No, pizza is its own category. People, I want see that's the movement I can get behind. Separate
Yeah,
pizza to its own category because that is pizza. You can do so many different things. So
for
pizza
sure.
itself should just its own category. So let me say, okay. So I say Italian, Mexican. I'll say Asian cuisine. And what was the fourth one I said?
Pizza.
American. I'll say
Oh,
American.
okay. Um. mm, Hmm. Hmm. That's like it's. I don't know, cause I mean I love Mexican food. Mexican and Italian are my favorite foods.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, Shantae they stay. Um, but the other one's kind of hard because I really do love some Asian cuisine, but at the same time, like, I do like some American food, but I'm not super crazy about hot dogs and hamburgers. I'm not a huge into meat. Um,
Boo.
I
Boo.
know, I know. So, and I don't like bones. Like, I don't, like, I like boneless wings. I'm one of the few select people that likes boneless wings.
So you
Don't
like
come for
chicken? So you
me.
like chicken tenders? You basically like
Like,
chicken.
yeah, like, oh my gosh, like, okay, so, like, side note, but, like, the best thing to order if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and, like, I mean, if you like bones, get the bones, but I like the boneless Caribbean jerk wings. They're so good, and they sell the Caribbean jerk
They are
sauce
good.
by itself now, and I'm so pumped because I love that shit.
Oh,
But,
I love mango
I
habanero.
think,
Mango habanero is just my favorite.
oh,
Love it.
that's good. That's what we bought that the other night. And then I made, like, shredded chicken, like,
Ooh, that.
jerk with mango habanero and that stuff too. Like I mixed it all
Ooh.
together. It was so good.
That sounds like
uh,
a great mix. Buffalo Wild Wings. If you listen to this podcast and you mix that, you make that collab happen. Uh, All Hype Noel podcast needs a little bit of cut of that dividend check. Okay, we appreciate
Big
that.
facts. We'll also sponsor it.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will definitely sponsor you. Oh my god, I will be there almost every day.
Mm.
Oh,
But
Phenom Hype, you here? Yeah, fried pickles and mango, please. Thank you. Awesome.
yes, come through. So I don't know. I mean, I would probably say though, I'd probably say dip on American.
Dip
I
on
like my rice and I
American.
like my noodles and I like orange chicken, bourbon chicken, kung pao. All that shit's delicious.
Oh
I don't
man.
know. What about you? What would you choose out of all those four? Which one would you get rid of?
That is a very hard question. I mean, I love all of them. Um, I know someone is gonna be very upset when I say this, so Taco Bro, I am so sorry, but I would have to cut up Mexican.
Really? Oh
I
my
would
gosh,
have
I could
to
not.
cut up Mexican. I know, and I love it. Trust me, I love it. It's so good. It is so good. But I mean,
Tacos, quesadillas, burritos, burrito
oh,
bowls, all that,
it's
like rice, beans,
I know, and
hot sauce.
it's crazy, and it's crazy that I say this because I worked in a Mexican restaurant for 10 years before what I do now. And so
Uh-huh.
you would think Mexican would just be, but maybe that's why I'm not picking it too, because I worked in a Mexican restaurant for
Yeah,
10 years too.
I was
So.
literally thinking like that could be the reason why.
No, I just
It's like you're subconsciously kind of sick of it, you know?
I don't know. I just I mean I haven't worked in the restaurant business in let's see here 5 6 years now, but even since then like Mexican food is not top priority for me. Like I know, and some like the more times I'll go to Mexican because my friends want to go get Mexican food. I'm like, okay, cool, I can enjoy that. But as for myself, like I love sushi. Sushi to me is always going to be like top three picks. If someone says where do you want to go, I'm probably going to say sushi, just because I love sushi.
I hate
Uh,
sushi, so I
Ita-
commend you for that.
Italian food, I love lasagna. I love it all. I love all Italian food. Like it is just so delicious. This the taste and this it's just delicious. I mean, there's probably a couple of Italian dishes I'm not the biggest fan of, but overall, it's gonna get like 95%. And then of
Yeah.
course, American food. I love hot dogs. I love burgers. I mean, even though like burgers are technically German, actually hot dogs. Wait, flip that around. Excuse me, sorry. But it's still now considered Americanized. But yeah, no, give me that food. Give me the good stuff. Give me those wings. Give me the burgers. Give me the hot dogs. Give me the mac and cheese. Give me all that good stuff. I love it. But yeah, Mexican food. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Taco Bro. I am sorry. Do not hate me for it. We will still
I'm
plan a trip for you
surprised.
to go to California, and I promise we will go down to San Diego and eat all the tacos that we want. I promise we will still do that with Taco Bro. But with that being said, we are moving on to our final thoughts. Kendra?
I have a great quote
Oh,
that I got from Rich Lux. And if you don't know who he is a mostly like a makeup drama channel. And I love him. And like I say a lot of his sayings, like whenever I say something, the house, that's where I got it from. Anyway, so his quote today I saw in his video was, "Man's rejection is God's protection." And I just think that that is a wonderful saying, and it can work. You can switch it. You could just be like rejection is God's protection because like if a man doesn't want you, if a girl doesn't want you, it's usually for the better. So
is
don't,
that is that why God? I always get the girls that I like, and they say no to me. Is that what you're protect? Thank you, thank you.
yeah, protecting you from heartbreak. So I just want to just say it was really great. And also, it's been over 5 months, and we still have no arrests on the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. So I just want to know, government, what the fuck are you doing with your time?
That actually has been a very big topic. I know people are still, they're still putting out their flags. They're still, protesting it to this day about what's going on with that. So,
I
definitely
mean, every
something that we
day
got to
I
keep our
wake
eye
up and
on.
they're free, I get angry.
Triggered.
So, like, they should not be waking up in their house to fucking banana pancakes. Like, they should be in prison
Why do
for
you got to attack?
murdering.
Why do you have to attack banana pancakes? Like,
Because
what did
blueberry
banana?
pancakes are better.
That's true.
But
That's true.
yeah, they should be locked up. They should have no freedom. They should have no rights. They should have no life because they took away a young woman's freedom and her life, her everything for no reason, and they left her fiance like, like now his love of his life is gone for what? For no reason. Like they need to be gone. Take them out.
Well, like they say, karma finds its way. That's what they say.
I hope karma finds their way into a jail cell with them.
Well, with that being said, that was Kench Noel. I am Phenom Hype. Thank you so much for sticking with us and tuning in to
We
another
miss
great
you.
episode of All Hype Noels. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.